VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 762, recorded on September 4th, 2025. You can go now, TJ. My hair. TJ.
I don't know if he's hearing us. I can hear his typing.
TJ. You can't. Can you hear us?
What's going on? Is ping him somehow?
TJ.
Oh, sorry. I can't hear for some reason.
No, you can't.
Testing.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you now. I didn't know that we had begun.
Yeah, us on mute, I guess.
Yeah, my headset wasn't working for some reason.
Okay.
Okay. The VGR Silksong, Gaming Silksong, episode Silksong 62, recorded on Silksong the 4th, 20, Silksong 25.
Hello, and welcome to the 762 edition. Hello, and welcome to the 762nd edition of the TD Gaming Podcast of 590. So flustered. The 595th episode of Video Game Roundtable. I am TJ Dinzer.
I am Scott Dirk.
And I am Jonah Falcon.
The VGRT Gaming Podcast focuses on game news from around the industry.
Yeah. So, what have you been playing there, TJ?
I spent this last week on Chronos, the New Dawn from Bloober Team. Okay. So that's their new horror game, following up after Silent Hill 2. This was an interesting one. It's a sci-fi time-hopping survival horror game. And I like it. First off, it has that level of Bloober Team style when it comes to the atmosphere of the game. I've always said that they're one of the best when it comes to environmental design and atmosphere. And that is true here as well. Chronos is a freaky game to wander through because of how much there is to take in at any given time. It's extremely Polish. Like, they built the game around like very specific, like actual existing historical buildings in Poland. And then there's just like the creatures in the game. That was like one of the biggest selling points right from the get-go. They're kind of like the necromorphs and Dead Space, but instead of like just killing everything to make more necromorphs, they try to merge with other beings and like kind of like the Thing and assimilate into them and become stronger and more terrifying beings. And if you let one get away with that, it will become a stronger monster and become that much harder to kill. And if the enemy had like an ability like armor or like spitting acid, it'll get that too, which makes the fights so much more tense. You go through time trying to basically collect people that had information that could have stopped the outbreak of this horrible monster crisis, and you collect their ghosts to carry with you through time, and they have an effect on the characters' like abilities. Like if there's one where if you set enemies on fire, you'll do more damage to them with firearms. There's another where if you hit a shotgun shot on multiple enemies, it'll do more damage across the board. And then like they also affect the way that you experience the ongoing events of the world. Like there was one where I came upon this like sculptor's house, and the sculptor's ghost, their essence was inside, and that person was crazy, and they gave my character all sorts of hallucinations inside the house that I don't think would have happened if I hadn't taken them with me. So there's a little bit of replayability and like experimentation with your choices there as well. Pretty solid. I thought it was an interesting story. I thought it was a pretty deeply satisfying challenge. It's not easy. It's a little bit hard. You have to scrape for everything you can get. And I like a game that doesn't make me feel strong when it's a horror game. I like a game that actually keeps like the threat level high and the tension high on that threat. So that's what I've been up to.
How about you, Scott? What have you been playing?
I've been playing two games. First one, I did the demo of Trials in the Sky first, and it's it's a 3D version of the game, of the original game, and it uses the combat system of the latest Trials through Daybreak game, where you have action on the field and you can activate the turn-based combat at any time, and bosses are always turn-based combat. And it's really fun to see the liberal area in full 3D now, and you get to have the voice acting. The script is more accurate to the original Japanese script, and it's just like I said, a lot of fun exploring it in 3D, and you get to see the story a little bit differently. And I think they might have added some things as well, but and it's only like the first chapter of the prologue, so you're just in the I think Roland area, and you're exploring that one, and you get Shara, so you get to see what the orbments are like, and get to see what the old magic used to be in the first five games, where you link up the septs to get uh, number values, and that would equal your spells. And apparently, it's a lot easier now to unlock the spells. And the other game I was playing is called Road Warden, and it's a text-based adventure game, role-playing game, where you make decisions through text story, and you get equipment. You have a character that has there's three different classes you can choose from, but basically you're this guy that uh, is trying to guard the roads of this area. You know, you're kind of like a ranger, I guess, and you're going around just keeping the peace, or keeping the area as safe as possible. So that's what I've been playing.
Thanks. I'm thoroughly bored now. I'm just kidding. Um, I've haven't played anything new. I've gotten back into Deep Rock Galactic. So just basically doing that because I have nothing better to do, and Left 4 Dead is not worth going back to. It's sad but true. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, like that's it. At least you're having fun with Deep Rock Galactic, which at least they continue to update that game with new stuff. So
They have season 5 right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As for Helldivers 2, I'm gonna wait because they're having their usual major update problems. People have been crashing, and the PC version has been a mess, getting negative reviews. But I will say this: some news out of that, and we might as well get into. Oh, actually, no, it's one of our news items, so we're just gonna wait for that. Yeah. As for quick news. Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage is closing off its closed beta on the September 11th. What do you know about it, TJ?
This is so the PC version of Virtua Fighter 5 Revo. That game has rollback netcode and better matchmaking system, and they balanced out the characters quite a bit. So, World Stage extends the rollback netcode to all platforms of the game. So PS5, Xbox Series X, those are going to have the rollback netcode that the PC version has had for a while. And they're going to have crossplay between them. So that ends up making that game. So this is like the 7th or 8th different major version of Virtua Fighter 5 they've put out since the game came out in 2012. Which is wild to think about, but yeah, they've been supporting this game since 2012. And the other thing is that the World Stage mode is going to get a single player, a new single player mode, and the option to play as the game's boss and regular play. So it's probably the last major new addition we'll see of Virtua Fighter 5 since they're working on the new game and they've begun to show more and more of it. But yeah, that's on the way with a beta this coming week to kind of give us an idea of what we're in for on consoles when it comes to the new content.
Are you excited for it, or?
I'm really excited for the new Virtua Fighter. I think it's odd and funny that they have.
Well, here's the thing: Virtua Fighter 5, it never really changed the industry because everybody's stuck with the 2D, 3D of Street Fighter, from Marvel vs. Capcom to like Soul Calibur and stuff like that. Virtua Fighter is the only one that went hard on the full 3D aspect. Having a full 3D arena and full 3D characters.
Yeah, and the only ones that have matched it is Tekken, and Tekken is a much more over the top and kind of flashy experience, like with big, crazy combos and wild hits. But Virtua Fighter has always been more like technical, I would say. It's more of a martial arts for martial arts game, where it doesn't go crazy over the top, but it does like make the technicals of that look absolutely gorgeous.
You remember the old Karate Fighter game, arcade game? So in that, you just had two guys in gis, and the most fantastic move they could possibly make is a flying kick, and that's it. Everything was just timed jabs and kicks. That's it.
Yeah,
you get a point or half a point based on what you did.
Yeah, and as you look at what they're doing with like the new Virtua Fighter that they're coming up with, they're keeping that spirit the same. Like if you saw the trailer that was at Evo, they just put two characters in like a training stage and just with no music and just let them beat each other up. And that's kind of like the purest nature that they're going for, where like the fight is what matters. The impact, the animations, the proficiency of like what it looks like when it's in action. It's not a flashy game, but it is very, very technically cool.
I just remember the master in the original Karate Fighter, and he would go fight. Point.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a cool game back down in the day.
I miss bit crushed video game voiceovers.
Also, Yar Kung Fu is another fighting game that everybody forgets. I just remember
basically the immediate predecessor to Street Fighter as we know it.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to move on to game news. And Hollow Knight Silksong was released today.
It was.
And it caused server chaos on Xbox, Steam, and Nintendo and PlayStation platforms.
It did. It even extended over to Humble Bundle, because when people couldn't get anything over at those other places, they flooded Humble Bundle for keys, and Humble Bundle only had so many keys to go around. So they had to drop a line of, stop buying from us for a sec, we can't handle it.
Like, if you go to PlayStation, you can only get the wish list screen, and it won't move from there. Xbox Store is still down, and it has nothing to do with Silksong. I mean, it's not even when you try to get Silksong. It's just the entire store is down. It says something went wrong. Try again.
Yeah. That something was one of the most anticipated games of the last decade launched.
That's why 7 games scattered when they released it. It's like, nope, none of us are going to get there.
They must feel so vindicated coming out of because it's worth noting, and it's been in conversations recently, they didn't do review copies for this game. They specifically said that there were not going to be review copies, and they said their reasoning for that was that they wanted to make sure that their backers that backed the Kickstarter years ago when they started got the first chance to play this. On some level, I think that's admirable, just because like those people invested in you. Yeah, I think that they should get their opportunity to be in on that early round. It is a little bit jarring though that we don't get to cover this the way that we normally would.
Well, it's not like those Kickstarter backers aren't having troubles too, because they have to download it from the same source as everybody else.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess I had a chance to play some of it today, and I have high expectations because the original Hollow Knight like changed indie gaming. It was a phenomenon, and I feel that's fair to say at this
By the
point.
way, Hollow Knight is still $15, and Silksong is only $20.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty good price. I guess some indies are concerned that they might be forced to match that price point when they release
I
their
don't think so.
games.
Here's the thing: Hollow Knight was crowdfunded. Silksong was crowdfunded, so a lot of their money came from that. You know, all these extra sales are just bonus for them.
Yeah, like Team Cherry is indie, and it's a small team, but they have absolutely not had an issue with cash for a long time.
Right. But other indies have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But here's the thing: the indies were worried about having to be released on Silksong because they're going to be overlooked. No, the reason to avoid Silksong apparently is that the stores are going to crash and people won't be able to buy your game in the first place.
It's wild too. I've never seen Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo's storefronts all just buckle
Buckle.
at the same time on
That
one
is
game.
crazy.
Okay. And that just makes me wonder, Jesus Christ, what's going to happen when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out then?
Oh my gosh, it'll be a chaotic mess.
At some point, you have to, have special servers that you turn on for certain games
Yeah,
just to handle the load.
they're gonna need those servers when Grand Theft Auto 6 arrives.
But sales are, the reviews are pretty good. It's 8 out of 10 basically from what I'm seeing. It's not going to change the world, but it is more Silksong. They did say that Silksong is going to take 10 hours more than the original Hollow Knight, even if you're speed running.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I've heard a lot of good things as well. That there's just so much to explore, and the game. Like if you loved Hollow Knight, you'll be happy with Silksong, and so it looks like it was worth the wait.
I just realized the Xbox allows streaming of their Game Pass games. I wonder how the streaming has been of that game. It probably is bad, but then again, I don't know how many Xbox fans are going to think, you know what? Actually, we can stream this game. Let's try to stream.
It doesn't seem like it takes up a lot of like real estate on your computer when it comes to anything, memory, space, performance requirements. It's very like it's a little bit more polished, but it's still very, very similar in visual style and execution to the original Hollow Knight. So I can't imagine that there would be any technical difficulties in doing this game as a streaming game.
It's still bandwidth.
The issue I can see being a problem is that platforming in Hollow Knight is unforgiving, and if you have latency or a little bit of delay, that could make things a problem, especially if the delay is inconsistent.
All of this is making me want to play Dead Souls again. I mean, Dead Cells again.
Yeah.
That I enjoyed even more than Hollow Knight.
There's never a bad reason to go back. They did that that Castlevania crossover.
They have all those crossovers. They have a lot of crossovers, not just Castlevania.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, my thing is Deep Rock Galactic, and I'm trying to find a good group to do a 4-star, four difficulty level. I've only gotten up to 3. 4 is brutal, and they won't even let you try 5 until you finish 4. So, anyways, our next news item is not video games, but go ahead, TJ.
All right. Going down. 42,000 Pokemon TCG Phantasmal Flames products have been swiped by a scalper group. Yesterday, Phantasmal Flame... Oh, this is from PC Gamer. Yesterday, Phantasmal Flames products were loaded up onto the Pokemon Center, not for pre-orders, but just for as a preparation for launch. But in just under an hour, scalper groups somehow managed to trick the checkout system into selling them all of the products they wanted, leading to one group called Hidden Society purchasing around 42,000 Phantasmal Flames products. An admin for the Hidden Society Discord group sent a member-only message out yesterday via PokeBeach, confirming that the scalpers managed to score over 42,000 items checked out, counting multi-count orders. It's currently unclear whether these orders have been canceled or not, but as a few of the admins have since deactivated their accounts due to backlash, but another admin apparently told another member of Hidden Society to tell people the orders got canceled so people stopped talking about it. That's
Yeah, I don't think
shady.
that's going to happen.
Yeah, I hate people like this because then they say, "Oh, we're providing a service," which is such bullshit. They're just making themselves
people will
another
provide.
middleman to profit off of stuff that they didn't make.
Yeah, people will provide their fists as a service to them. Yeah, this is, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on here because they managed to trick the checkout system into selling them all the products they wanted. That sounds pretty illegal to me. And I wonder if Pokemon Center can just, apparently they can't cancel the orders? I have no idea how that works.
That seems like once you realize something is funky, you should have the materials or the foundation in place to just be able to cancel that. Because like, what are they going to do? Just fulfill all that to give that stuff to that scalper group? That seems shitty.
What I would do is I would see if we can't make up like 4 times the 160,000 Phantasmal Flames products, and just say we don't care about if it's rare or not. We'll just have it and we'll sell it cheap. And because that's what scalpers can't do anything if the manufacturer decides we're going to sell this less expensive now. Good luck. You bought a lot of crap. That reminds me of the scalpers who were scalping the Wii U, and they couldn't give those things away.
Yeah, and it was like, and with this current generation, with the Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo kind of went out of their way to make sure that there was enough for most people to get what they wanted, and that was basically anti-scalper as well. That was actually a priority for them, was making sure that scalpers couldn't do that to the Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it with the Wii because they were so proud that they short produced the Wii so it becomes famous and make it so valuable. But with the Switch 2, if that happened, then the Switch dies on the vine. By the way, I saw where this is the first generation in which the launch consoles for this generation are more expensive now than they were at launch. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I saw that. Like the PS5 is like $100 more expensive than when it launched.
That is so weird.
And to have $100 more.
To have a price increase on the PS5 5 years into its console cycle.
And it's easy to blame the tariffs or the threat of tariffs, but I don't think that's the case here.
Yeah, that makes it seem like it just get worse then.
No, I just think something horribly wrong happened with this generation in which not enough people bought the damn systems, and now they're trying to get rid of these systems. It's like when Nintendo says, well, if you can't afford a Nintendo Switch 2, just get an original Switch.
No, that seemed like a really stupid thing for them to say.
I just don't know what's going on here.
I don't know.
Anyways, moving on to the next item. Former PS5 console exclusive Helldivers 2 now tops Xbox sales charts as Sony continues to dabble with its multi-platform strategies. Comes from Eurogamer. Last month, the beloved PlayStation-published Helldivers 2 made its Xbox debut after months of many asking developer Arrowhead, and Arrowhead joking the move would require Sony and Phil to duke it out for a port to happen. Well, apparently someone duked it out, and it seems that the debut has gone really well with Xbox players. If you head over to the Xbox website, it's the top paid game. But here's the thing that raised a lot of eyebrows. According to data from Alinea Analytics, Helldivers 2 shifted 926,000 copies on Xbox 6 days after its release. The PlayStation version, after 6 days, sold 633,000 copies after launch. on the same day that PlayStation Helldivers 2 arrived on Xbox, Gears of War also landed on the PlayStation, the Reloaded version. This version sold 259,000 copies on PlayStation. But what's interesting is that, you know what? Gears of War sold more total units than Helldivers 2 did. Reloaded sold 1.3 million units, which surprised me. Part of it is because it's on Game Pass. You're not going to see as many sales on Xbox, but it still sold 1.3 million, and about 250,000 on PlayStation, which means a lot of people are purchasing it on Steam. And I think I know why. The Ultimate Edition, which came out like 5 years ago, was shitty. It was really badly made. It was a technical mess. So Reloaded comes out. It's buttery smooth. It's well developed, and I think people are saying, you know what, we're just going to leap to the next version because it's better. But yeah, I mean, it's like the Streisand effect. I wonder if there's so many sales because it wasn't available on Xbox for a long while. And now a PS5 console exclusive comes to Xbox, people are going to snatch it up.
I mean, that would be fair to assume because you're sitting on the other side of the fence. You're watching how much fun people are having in Helldivers. You like it has had nonstop flow of content, like new stuff coming to it, nonstop events, and you've just kind of had to sit there waiting for it. I would assume that anyone that was really, really jonesing to play that on Xbox would have been chomping at the bit, seeing everything that's been going on since it launched.
So here's the question. What does this mean for the future? Because Sony is saying, holy shit, we're making so much money from selling Helldivers 2 on Xbox. And keep in mind, there have been layoffs going on left and right from everybody, which is one of the articles we're going to be talking about next. So you can imagine, wait, this is making money, a lot of money. Not only are we selling here's the funny thing is that the Xbox, the regular Helldivers 2 is number 1 on Xbox sales. Number 4 is the special edition version. So, yeah, people are the regular version, I believe, is $40. And the special edition is $60, which comes with a season pass, or at least one of the war bonds. Like I said, Sony must be seeing this and saying, money, a lot of money coming to us. And it's one of our live service games, which means even more money because of the war bonds.
Yeah, and some of those war bonds have been pretty great. They released an electric-based, like an electric-themed weapon pack a while back that had a shotgun that was like a Tesla cannon. Yeah. And that thing is apparently really fun. And
the thing is that it's very interesting. These war bonds, they're all $10. Except for the ODST, that one is $15. And it's sort of like a way to customize your game. Some of them are specialized in stealth, some of them specialize in explosives. As a matter of fact, from what I understand, the first war bond to get is the explosive one. There's another one that gives you mechs, so it's basically these war bonds are, what kind of gameplay do you want? How do you want to play the game? You want to be the boom guy? Do you want to be the shotgun guy? Do you want to be the electric guy? Do you want to be the explosives guy? Do you want to be the mech guy?
Worth noting too that there's niches for players in that game where it's good to have that variety because sometimes you fight robots and sometimes you fight bugs. And obviously electricity works a bit better on robots and fire works a bit better on bugs. But you have to have that variety in there for that to exist.
One other thing, though, I have to remind people that the war bonds are basically, they don't give you the weapons. They give you the ability to buy those weapons. You have to get enough of in-game cash, and you unlock them. Yeah.
Yep. And it's worth noting they are optional weapons. You don't need them to play Helldivers 2. They're just fun extras. But when you consider that that's like $10 worth of fun extras, and then hundreds of thousands of people spending that $10, yeah, it seems like a pretty easy slam dunk for Sony on that case.
The only issue that's there is that if you started playing Helldivers 2 from the beginning, you're going to have most of those war bonds, because now if you join now, it's sort of like playing Crusader Kings 3 or The Sims. It's like there's a billion expansions, and if you want to get them all, it's going to cost you $200 or something. So
I think somebody tried that, and it was like $700. It's really expensive.
So you see the war bonds. I had a word for it right now, but the war bonds are unique in that, like I said before, they're just a way to tell you your game. You want to be this kind of player, you can be this kind of player. I mean, universally, everybody's in the ODST stuff. Everybody's bought it. So the ODST stuff is interesting. Like, you can get boots in which you can never damage your legs.
I read that the
and you have the stealth weapons.
I read
the shotgun.
The shotgun for the ODST pack is like ridiculously over the top hard hitting compared to every other shotgun in the game, like kinetic shotgun. Like, to the point where, like, somebody was talking about the second most powerful is like a 400 damage shotgun, and the ODST one is something around 650. It's pretty dang strong from what I hear.
Yeah, I would have wished they'd had something like the Needler from Halo.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
But
maybe that'll be another war bond. Energy weapons.
But at the same time, making the Halo shotgun that strong is funny, just because of how, like, it was. I don't know how, like, if it's OP in every game.
Maybe it's because they know they're having Xbox players coming in who are used to Halo, who expect that kick from the shotgun.
Yeah, because the shotgun has always been a pretty strong weapon in Halo.
I wonder if I have to check, but I'm pretty sure that the Halo shotgun in Helldivers 2 also has a very low ammo count, something like 6 or something. So it's not like you can just chain a shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna try it at some point, Helldivers. I'm just gonna wait because, like I said, every time they come up with a major thing, they just came up with another major war bond, another major update, and right now there's some complaints from PC owners. The game has gotten ridiculously huge. It's 150 gigabytes. And to give you an idea, Cyberpunk 2077 is only 90 gigabytes, right? And frame rate has collapsed, which means at some point they're going to have to rebuild the game on PC from the ground up. Or not from the ground up, but just because the netcode on PC is really bad right now.
Mm.
So, yeah. Scott, take the next item.
Okay. 2K confirms layoffs at Civilization developer Firaxis. This is from Game Developer. 2K has confirmed that it has laid off workers at the Civilization developer Firaxis Games. In a statement, 2K's spokesperson told Game Developer that there were a staff reduction today at Firaxis Games as the studio restructures and optimizes its development process for adaptability, collaboration, and creativity. The statement
okay, whatever you say, guys. Whatever you say.
Right. Yeah, those were quotes and whatnot, and what I forget what it's called, corporate speaking for they. Anyways, I'll finish the story first. The statement doesn't disclose numbers, but sources close to the situation told Game Developer that dozens of workers have been impacted by the cuts. On LinkedIn, multiple developers have mentioned being laid off throughout the course of the day. This includes writer Emma Kidwell, senior quality assurance tester Logan Blackwood, lead character artist Matthew Davis, and producer Maya H. In late August, yeah, that's what I said. In late August, 2K confirmed a downsizing at Cloud Chamber, developer working on BioShock 4. The news comes weeks after Bloomberg reports on August 1st, which stated the BioShock 4 recently failed a publisher review. This reportedly led to leadership changes and narrative overhaul. At the same time, Bloomberg reported that employees were worried that layoffs could follow.
I didn't even know there was a BioShock 4 being worked on.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
But, I know, by the way, there is a System Shock 3 being worked on. We have no information about. And I think was stopped and started and stopped and stopped as well. Sort of like, Bloodlines 2, they had to cancel the entire team working on Bloodlines and that started over with a Chinese room. But yeah, 2K tells Firaxis, we want to turn Civilization into a live service. So make it a multiplayer game first. Oh, it's not selling? Oh, well, guess what? It's your fault. You're fired.
I know that 2K is already kind of skeezy and they do these layoffs pretty frequently. But I'm going to go ahead and say that putting your layoffs news in the week of
Week of Silksong? Yeah.
week of one of the most anticipated game releases of all time is especially shady and shitty, whether you meant to or not.
It's funny because Silksong by Team Cherry is made by a small team, and right now it brought Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Valve to their knees.
Yeah.
No one's beating. When your game has less concurrent players than Civilization Beyond Earth, you know there's something wrong.
Yeah, and I know that Civ 7 has had problems. I wish they would figure out what they need to do short of making an entirely new game.
They have to do an entirely new game.
But
they should have. It's funny. I said this when Civ 7 was released that they should have never called it Civ 7 and just called it Civilization Revolution 3, and no one would have had a problem with it. No one.
I remember. And
people. What I'm saying is, people are saying that now.
Yeah. But you were saying that a while back. Like you were saying that maybe a couple months ago.
Let me ask you a question, Scott. How much did you like Civilization Revolution?
I didn't really like it at all. It didn't. It looked too
cartoony.
Man, too cartoony. Too just not for me. I didn't. I couldn't take it serious. It felt too streamlined.
I think you should have given it a choice because while it was streamlined in such a way that you got into it and the game was over quickly. The only problem I have is that I remember I remember Paul saying that he found a way just to win all the time if you did certain things. But here's the thing: if you have a condensed, fast version of Civilization, it's pretty good. I mean, yeah, some people just want a quick thing, quick Civilization, make it an hour and a half. But when you adopt that to the mainline Civilization, people don't want that. And people don't want multiplayer. I know you do the polycasts, or actually the turn casts. And I was involved with 2 of them. Yeah, you can play Civ 6 in multiplayer, but guess what? That's not why people play Civ 6.
Yeah, and like, do you think? Okay, so we've talked about this a little bit before in the past about how like when Civilization gets its big expansion, that's where a lot of people have felt it became a complete game. That was certainly the case for Civ 5. I think it was less the case for Civ 6.
Civ 5 and Civ 6 both were when they got their expansion. By the way, you can play Civ 6 and Civ 5 without the expansions, and they're completely different experiences.
Yeah, but like what I was getting at is that Civ 5, like the expansion fixed some pretty big holes in that game, I would say, especially as far as like culture was so strong when it started.
But here's the thing.
But hold on. Before that, and then Civ 6 was like, that game didn't need an expansion. That game was good before the expansion, and the expansion just added more good stuff to it. Civ 7, do you think it can be saved by a big expansion or
no? It can't, because the structure of it is so different. You'd have to completely change the game to improve it, because the problems people have with it are the skeleton. It's not the stuff that's on top. I mean, when they passed Civ 5, they didn't add anything that was revolutionary to the game. All they did was add some systems onto it. But it was still the same game. Start in the Stone Age, go through time with the same Civ, explore, that sort of stuff. There wasn't any real differences. It was still Civ. Remember Sid Meier's thirds. 1/3 new, 1/3 fixed, 1/3 the same. Civ 7 just decided we're going to take everything and just change it. Now you have these 3 ages. there's no continuity. They made all the leaders bland because you can't have a multiplayer game with leaders that are too different. Which, by the way, that reminds me, people seem to forget at Civ 1 and 2, all the Civs were the same. The only thing that was different was the names. That's it. No one had any special powers. America, Egypt, Paris, there was no difference between them. Then later on, they added, what leader you had a different effect. And what some people, it makes it more difficult to have play balance, but that's just the thing. In a single-player game, you don't give a rat's ass about play balance. The computer's not going to complain if you're OP,
Yeah.
And one of our guest hosts, and someone that I know Scott knows very well, Dan Quick, he has not played a second of Civ 7. And that is damning unto itself. Because Dan breathes, eats Civ.
Yeah, they're still playing the weekend. Civcast.
But even then, on his own, Dan is still playing Civ 6 because I'm on Steam. I can see him pop up. He's playing Civ 6.
Yeah,
I have to check to see how many hours he's played. It has to be up to 2,000 by now.
I think it is.
It's frightening. But yeah, and you see, I would be pleased if it didn't mean that a lot of people are going to get fired, right? Because 2K was obviously expecting more money from Civ, a lot more money, and they were expecting not only going to make more money, but we're going to make it a live service game so we make even more money. And they did some of that with Civ 6 because they had that slow drip of content. This leader, that leader, these leaders, in small drips of 3 leaders at a time and 3 Civs at a time, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Who gives a shit about cosmetics in Civ? I don't care about what outfits I can have George Washington wearing. I don't care.
Yeah, and then as far as the developers themselves go, this,
they don't have a say in the matter.
A lot of what made it, that focus on multiplayer, that focus on DLC and live service elements, those don't seem like Firaxis decisions to me.
No,
those seem like 2K decisions. And for the team at Firaxis to have to bear the consequences of those decisions really sucks.
But on the other hand, that doesn't excuse the shitty UI at launch.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you think
and we just go ahead.
Possibly the end of civilization, that there won't be a Civ 8?
No. There will be a Civ 8
I think.
at some point.
I mean,
Civ 8 long before they planned it. Actually,
if it didn't come from 2K and Firaxis, then I would expect that an indie developer or a group that's composed of former developers from Firaxis may pick up the reins at some point and do a spiritual successor if they don't get a chance.
They keep trying. I mean, you had Era History Untold, and of course, Humanity. But here's the thing: at some point, someone's going to just create a straight up clone of Civ, without actually being Civ, and just make the game that everybody wants.
Yeah.
And I can give you a very specific example. SimCity. SimCity is a way how you fuck up one of Will Wright's creations and have its lunch eaten by City Skylines. The ironic thing is that City Skylines 2 is fucking up and they're making it open for someone else to come in. I still have faith, but the graphics issues are still there with City Skylines.
Well, and
because I was really enjoying that game until they patched it.
And if you look at things like F-Zero 99, F-Zero 99 wasn't originally started within Nintendo. It was started by enthusiasts who really cared about F-Zero and were upset that it hadn't had a proper good game in like a long time.
Well, guess what? Remember, the best Sonic game was made by Sonic fans and not Sonic Team.
Sonic Mania is another great example. Clair Obscur is a great example of people wanting turn-based Final Fantasy back and a good story, and enthusiasts of that style going out and doing that. So I guess what I'm trying to say,
I'd hesitate to say that Clair Obscur is turn-based, though.
it is. It's totally.
It's timing based. But on the other hand,
it's still like I've heard somebody say this, and I don't necessarily agree with like the conceit behind it. But DVD menu RPG, it is that.
I mean, here's the thing: it's a great Final Fantasy game, and I like the fact that their idea is that the next Clair Obscur game is not going to have anything to do with the game that just came out.
Yeah,
so they're going to go with Final Fantasy's anthology system.
So I guess like all of that to say, Scott, to your question, if 2K and Firaxis themselves don't make like Civ 8, I think that eventually somebody that's good and an enthusiast and understands what makes those games work, like Jonas said, will make a clone that's like a spiritual successor.
I have another example for you. You also have Story of Seasons and Farming.
Yeah. When you've got talented people out there that are enthusiasts for something that they played, they fill in the gaps, and I think that'll happen.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot as well, so I agree.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, Civ games are hard, and the fact is that here's the thing: there's been a lot of videos being released for Europa Universalis 5. The problem is it's not Civ for me. It's a completely different type of game. And if I was really into those grand strategy games, I'd be all in. And here's the thing about Europa Universalis 5. It's Europa Universalis 4, except with more. And that's what people want. You know? More in depth, more control, more. And if you want more micromanaging, you know. And if they made a Stellaris 2, I'm willing to bet you it's going to be Stellaris, but just more.
Yeah, speaking of Stellaris, they're still doing expansions for that because they've got the Shadow of the Shroud one coming out on September 22nd.
Yeah, it's so hard to grasp it, to grasp Stellaris for me, which is why I think I'm heading toward. I think I'm preferring Master of Orion.
Have you ever tried Endless Space?
Yeah, it's not quite for me. I think I still prefer. I tried Old World, by the way. It's okay. The problem with Old World is that it's kind of obscure with its rules. I don't quite grasp what I'm supposed to be doing. Have you tried Old World, Scott?
Yeah, I did on Epic. It was very buggy and just a mess, and I really didn't go back. But I thought the idea of having story events happen that shaped your dynasty was
you can't even select where your settlers can go. There's only one place. There are only certain places you can put your settlers. That's it.
Right. It was very tricky to figure out.
But yeah, I keep trying Era History Untold, and the problem is that it did what Project Phoenix did. And that is, it made it too complicated. Project Phoenix, for those who don't know, was the guy who created XCOM decided to make his new XCOM game, and they made it so that there were fish people that were coming out of the water. And Project Phoenix, why would I care about what's it called, body location shooting? Just want to shoot the alien. I don't have to want to pick the arm or the leg or.
Wasn't Project Phoenix the Kickstarter that completely failed?
Yeah, it was Kickstarted.
Yeah,
it's made by the guy who created XCOM.
Yes.
And who proved that his bad design on XCOM wasn't because of the year it was made. It's because he's not very good at design. Which is why Sid Meier comes in and says, yeah, let me show you how it's done, son.
It's a dang shame that we might not see more XCOM in that universe for a while, because I would have liked to see the 3D current iteration of XCOM
Has to be. It
Finally.
has to be Terror of the Deep, and
That's what I want. That's
they
what I
keep
want.
on. They keep on. They, at the end of the XCOM 2, they basically told you it's going to be Terror of the Deep. Look, it's underwater.
Mhm.
The threat is coming from underwater. Hint, hint, hint.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it without Solomon there, but like we'll see.
You know, the thing is that I wonder if it's because they put so much into making Civ 7 that they put off XCOM.
I wouldn't doubt it. I would doubt. I don't imagine that XCOM is a bigger seller than Civ.
Yeah, for console players, they might just look at the upcoming Final Fantasy Tactics and say, "Well, we'll get some of that instead."
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to play Final Fantasy Tactics, Scott?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that, as well as the Trails in the Sky first remake. So I definitely want to get both of those.
Yeah.
It's
Hell,
strange.
we do. Go ahead.
It's strange to think of an entire Final Fantasy Tactics game like with full vocal work in it, just because we didn't have that in the original one at all.
I know, and that'll be interesting to see and just enjoy.
We didn't discuss this yet, but Scott, are you looking forward to Octopath Traveler 0?
Yeah, I've been told that is basically the champions of the the mobile game is being brought to the single player platform, and now we get to experience it, and there'll be like a base building and just all you have 8 party members in battle at once, which is really crazy. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. And the Adventures of Elliot, looking forward to that one too. So I got a lot to look forward to.
You know, this is coming out of nowhere, but TJ, have you played Still Wakes the Deep yet?
I haven't.
It's by the Chinese Room, and it is quite the game. And the thing is, it's really, really spooky and scary, but the story is still much better. And one of the funny things is that everybody speaks with a thick Scottish brogue and Scottish slang. And you have the option either to have it in English, which is basically translating the Scottish, or you can have it in the original Scottish. Hey, that's go shite. It's like, okay, but you may not be able to understand them, but now we're just going to say what the words mean, and you still may not understand them.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't played Still Wakes the Deep, though.
I mean, it's really hard to fit new games into my schedule anymore. And
this is one game you have to fit. This is one of these games you're going to play like a year and a half later and say, holy shit, why didn't I play this when it came out? It's really good. The writing is excellent, too. And the ending, even though it's more than a year old, I'm not going to give it away, but it's sort of like, it makes you stare at your screen while the credits are rolling. So, yeah. I mean, that's the only reason why I am looking forward to Bloodlines 2 in any way, because the changes they made sort of make me nervous.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So we'll see. On the other hand, the original Bloodlines, I always play with God mode because the game design in that is crap too. I only play it for the story. So. But we'll see. A Dishonored Bloodlines, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, look for our show notes at gamingpodcast.net along with industry news and gaming history. I'm sorry. Look for our show notes at gamingpodcast.net along with industry news and our gaming history articles. You can enjoy feedback, send us comments at our blog at gamingpodcast.net. Also, hit us up at facebook.com/gamingpodcast. You can find me on Blue Sky at Jonah Falcon.
You can find me at Johnny Chugs.
You can find me at Shard the Sage.
And you will see us next week.
Happy gaming, everyone.
Have fun, be cool, play games, y'all.